End of the line Joel says, JF, if you're looking for a subject for an upcoming show, there's a documentary here that might be worth a review. He sends me the documentary, The Dark Sad Life of Boogie2988. Wow, that is interesting. I'll certainly watch it because I remember being Boogie bummed. I remember Boogie being on a stream, and back then I was a rising star of streaming world, and I remember making a show about Boogie's kneeling to feminism and explaining to him that he was kneeling to an abusive ideology that was looking at making him kneel and that he shouldn't. And I remember him being laughing his ass off at the thumbnail and joining the stream from his live stream. And he was sending his crowd also, and we got Boogie bummed. The people on the regular chat, it was all like there were thousands of his fans that were coming, and they were saying Boogie says hi, and that kind of stuff. And we couldn't even talk to each other because there was too many people on the regular chat. So yeah, I always remember Boogie as a naive ball of fat out there in the world, floating in outer space. A man for whom I have pity. I have pity for his kneeling to the game, for his just accepting I'm going to be this gigantic fat YouTuber, and that's all it's going to be. And yeah, I have affection and love for him, although, yes, it is a dark, sad life that he chose. Yeah, I'll certainly watch I might cry. I might actually cry. Hello, everyone, and welcome to JFG Tonight. I cannot wait to talk to you about this documentary. It is the best documentary of the decade, in my view. I'm so happy that we can get still quality art being done. I was super excited when someone yesterday mentioned in the chat that I should watch the documentary about Boogie2988. But I didn't expect it would be that good. It was 10 times better than what I wanted, and I'm super satisfied. It's such a complex documentary with many layers. It's unbelievable. It plays with meta irony, and ultimately, I'm not even sure going out of this documentary, what is the current status of Boogie? Should he be seen as having a dark, sad life? Because the documentary starts like this, but then it moves into, well, okay, now he's got his 20-year-old girlfriend. Okay, she may have a little crooked nose, crooked face a little bit, but she's a beautiful 20-year-old female going out with him. What is there to complain for Boogie? Why would we be sad? And there he is making hallucinogenic mushrooms to get out of his depression. It's like, how is that a sad life? The guy got millions of subscribers. He streams. Everyone wants to listen to him, and he has the 20-year-old girlfriend. And you can take him by pity because okay, well, he presents his financial situation as dire and going toward bankruptcy, but it's like he says he put all of his money in crypto and then lost all of it. But that sounds like the boat accident. That sounds like I can't help but check this documentary through the lens of something I have no evidence for at all. But it's like, what if this documentary is a joke? What if it's him and the documentary maker saying, "Hey, we're gonna pull a massive, the dark, sad life of Boogie. It's going to be hilarious, and we're gonna make everyone believe that I'm in bankruptcy and I stored everything in Bitcoin anyway because I've been in divorce, so I have no reason to accumulate property. I'm getting rid of my house. Let's do it. It's going to be funny." And I'm like, I'm not telling you that this is the background, that this actually is the case, that it's a trap, that it's a joke, this movie. But I'm like, what if that was a joke? It sounds like a joke. It sounds like there's so much pity being brought into it that it's almost exaggerated. This is where the meta irony comes in. And I ask myself, is this movie flirting with it consciously, or is that just an accident of the internet that the subject is so funny that this super fat guy became a celebrity? And it captures a moment of the internet that is so unique, where the people who rose on YouTube at the beginning, they were genuinely from a sample of social rejects, autists of all kinds. And I think we may never have this again. We may never have this again. John Drake says, what does this guy die from? Because people are saying rip Boogie in the chat. No, John Drake, Boogie is not dead. Boogie, there's a meme that goes around the internet on chats. Cake overdose, says end of the line Joel. There's a meme on the internet. Everyone every day jokes that Boogie is dead. When you think about it, it's the darkest thing possible. But it's kind of fascinating, this meme. This meme about rip Boogie is fascinating when you consider that there has to be a time where it happens for real. The day that Boogie truly dies, it's going to be hard to truly make the call, to tell the difference between all of the memes, all of the jokes, and the reality. People are putting. We'll get back to this subject very soon, but let me give you the best segment of this documentary, in my view, which is hilarious and sad, and I cried and I laughed at so many points of this movie.
I found that person and they happened to be 20, and I get that it's creepy to date somebody half your age or younger, but People can call me creepy if they want. If she's happy and I'm happy, then I will be the biggest creep you need me to be, as long as her and I are happy. You can be as mad as you want. Sexually, we both seem to be having an excellent time.
I would say that it's the best I ever had. Wow, you were...
I look like today. I had a friend tell me I look like a samurai on vacation. I was going to ask if you could see it, but...
In the front here, and I think, what are you, a YouTuber or something?
Yeah, I've been on YouTube for about 17 years.
You've been on YouTube for 17 years?
4 million subscribers.
Okay, and this is your girlfriend, who is much younger than you, suspiciously.
She's an adult.
That, you know, it's never good when you say, well, she's an adult. Is this a sex trafficking situation? You keep looking at him and never answering the
Oh my
question.
god. With the creep music in the background.
And I hate it when people single us out. I hate it when people like...
That's to be expected. You're right, we're different, but...
Fuck them, right?
Yeah, fuck.
Fuck them.
He's not manipulating me. I love him for him. He doesn't control me. We're a team. He supports me in everything I do and everything I want. He's my support system.
The absolute beauty of this documentary. It is so in your face. And so you want to be a YouTube superstar? Listen to Papa JF. If you want to be a YouTube superstar, understand that your peak will last at most 1 year. And it might slowly go down or it might quickly go down after this. But you have to make sure that in this 1 year, you make enough money and enough savings and enough investments so that you can last 20, 30 years. Prepare your fall. This guy didn't prepare his fall. He took a mortgage. You should never have a mortgage as a YouTuber. You should, from 1995 to 2016 was a place where the big fat Magic the Gathering guy could become a worldwide celebrity. The internet has changed since then, and I think we may never go back. Once the normies were in, everything changed here. Once the normies were in, the same social ladder of that exists in the normal world came onto the internet. And I don't think there will ever be a take back of power by big media companies a la CNN, Fox News. But I think that the normies, as a force, they will be effective at keeping anything like the early internet from ever truly happening again. What was so magical in the early internet, and when I say early, I'm talking about actually the first 20 years of the internet, is that this mechanism by which you had to be an artist to even care about making videos on the internet led to the selection of a bunch of people to become celebrities in this world that were fundamentally different from anything else we had ever seen. They were people that were never represented in Hollywood movies, never present in press conferences. They really came out. They came out of the closet, the fat artists, the leftovers of civilization, people who every day still exist today and are rejected by the world. And they end up in Magic the Gathering meetings. But they rose, and they rose to the point of their celebrity penetrating through time down to catching a 20-year-old relatively beautiful woman by the body. So that is something very special that happened in civilization. We won't be able to reproduce it ever because as long as the normies are there to impose their social ladder of preferences, you'll always be a minor personality today if you're too autistic or too specialized on a given subject on YouTube. So it's impossible to recreate that moment. Rodi Lassid says, Boogie is also the guy who shot a gun into the air when someone came to his house. Yeah, I know about this. But is it that grave? I think it's a very white thing to do, to shoot in the air rather than shoot into the other guy. It's a very white thing to do, what he did. And I understand that there are laws, and I highly recommend not doing that kind of stuff. But let's be clear. Under the Second Amendment, I believe that these laws are abusive. These laws that make it so that, oh yeah, you can have a gun, but if you shoot within 100 meters of a residential housing zoned as A1C3, you are committing a felony. I think it's ridiculous that it's that way. I think that, yes, I don't want shootings in the air to be happening because at some point, if they were to be so regular, at some point you're going to have accidents, and at some point you're going to have falling bullets actually by random, killing people. I get it. But this was a situation where he felt violated in his land. And as far as my morality goes, understanding that he was probably in a state where there was no castle doctrine. But as far as I'm concerned, castle doctrine should be the law everywhere on Western civilization. As far as I'm concerned, a violation of your land calls for a reply, and it is up to the people who own that land to determine what force is necessary. But that's just my philosophy. All this to say, I don't consider Boogie a felon in my heart. I understand that he's a felon by fact, but he's shot in the air. Dead Stars. But there he is presented with his Magic the Gathering friends, and you know he's spending his Saturdays with a bunch of fat Magic the Gathering people. And the documentary goes through the classical steps of a documentary. You know, these cringy parts where, okay, you are depressed, therefore we're gonna try to set you up with a specialist of employment.
And disability, I can't. If that is the attitude that you're gonna have when you approach. Nice to meet you. My name is Dawn.
Dawn, I'm Boogie, or Steve.
Okay, what do you prefer to be called?
Honestly, probably Steve. Let's go with Steve.
Okay, Steve, no problem. Whatever you prefer. And so you are here today because you are seeking employment.
Yeah.
You're seeking out new work opportunities.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your background and where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. I am disabled, recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside of that is I am extremely depressed, so there's some mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically, I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife, and I'm also a pedophile. Should mention I'm also a felon.
Okay. What's the nature of your felony?
Aggravated assault.
How old is it?
About 2 years.
Okay. So I think there are some avenues you could explore.
Qubit says, I heard a hooker quit her job in order to avoid sleeping with him. That's quite an achievement, lol. Yeah, because one other aspect of his life that we learn about is that he's been spending $200,000 on prostitutes, having sex with these girls that he was catching on the internet. Apparently there's a website of prostitutes, and he was getting their services and paying them stuff and falling for the general thing that men fall into, which is not only do you pay the service of the prostitute, but he was trying to shower them with luxury, and it's so sad because you see the kind of girls he paid for, and it's like, holy shit, man. They're ugly, you know. It's like, I wouldn't fuck them at this point in my life. I wouldn't fuck them even for free. And he's browsing through the website, and he's like, oh, you know, this girl is cute, a little fatter than I usually like, but it's okay. It's like, wow, man, you're gonna pay $1,000 for this girl? I wouldn't touch her with a stick for free. This classic and cringy part in documentaries where they go to take hallucinogenics a la Joe Rogan, ayahuasca type of shaman ceremonies, they do this with Boogie. And you're like, well, I have this documentary telling me that he has a dark side life. I have the facts, which is this guy has the most beautiful girlfriend that a man of his category can ever wish for, okay? And there he is at the door of death, ready to go to hell, and he can still throw a couple of last shoots of sperm with the hope of having a bunch of children representing him in this world. He's been marking history of the internet forever. How is that a dark, sad life other than the things that he's telling himself in his mind, you know? And there he is. Okay, we're going to try to fix the last-ditch effort part of this documentary is we're going to go into the wood with a shaman, and you're going to be you're going to be experiencing a life renewal through mushrooms.
Brains. People experience trauma.
Yeah, so people were asking about his girlfriend. Is she a gold digger? I don't think she is necessarily a gold digger, but I think she has daddy issues. As Shamrock Shake says, she had no dad, basically, and so I don't know what's her situation. Did she have a good mother? But in any case, she was with a single mother and probably got into young adulthood and saw very little space for her to do anything else than basically identify with a social reject, because probably she also self-perceives as a social reject. Okay, so I won't play it. I will tell you, if you want to see this moment of Boogie2988 on hallucinogenic mushroom, go watch the full movie. It is worth it. It is a good spending of your time to watch this movie in whole. It is absolutely entertaining. The hallucinogenic scene appears to fix Boogie, and then we end with Boogie realizing, hey, you know, my situation is not so bad. My situation is, okay, I don't have the stardom that I had a couple of years ago, but I've been lucky to be struck by lightning and to have shined so bright for a moment, and that's so much better than most people will accomplish. Why not take it as a win? Dead Star says, this doc looks great. Yeah, it is absolutely fantastic, because you ask yourself, these scenes like the hallucinogenic, is that a commentary on this kind of movie? Because it's kind of overdone, the whole hallucinogenic moment. They do it again and again these days. And there's always that kind of Joe Rogan moment. And you ask yourself, is Mike Clum here playing with my mind? And Mike Clum makes some editing where Boogie is like hearing the shaman, and he's hearing the voices of the shaman at the end, and then he wakes up in the morning with an alarm clock. It is fascinating, the editing, very, very well done.